Every time I look God in his eyes, he remind me of my resilience. Look at everything we overcame, dog. We too far to fail. All right, here we go again. Another episode with an everyday ex-offender overcoming adversity. I'm here with a brother that I have the utmost respect for. But I don't want to tell you who he is. I'm going to let him tell you. So if you can, brother, please tell us your name, what they call you in the streets, and where you from.
My government name is Bullock, known by Udi, Whop. I'm originally from Wilson, North Carolina.
Wide awake.
You already know. I made my way to Charlotte 9 years ago, right after my release. Yeah.
All right, so what exactly did you go to prison for, and how much time has been taken from you by the system?
Went to prison for armed robbery, and I did 13 years.
13 years?
Yeah, 13 years, man.
To the door? That was your max?
To the door. Nah, it wasn't the max. That was my minimum.
Okay.
But yeah, 13.
How much time did they give you initially?
It was 13 to 16, really.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but you know how the system goes, minimum, max. Mandatory minimum. So I did my mandatory minimum and got out of there.
Right on. How many yards were you on while you was there?
Not including the little county joint, 6.
6?
Yeah.
How long you stayed in the county?
A year.
Word. So, tell me, man, what are some of the things that you learned while you were in prison, doing your bid, that you brought with you out here to prepare you for your transition home?
Oh, man. First and foremost, learning the prison culture. If applied right, man, like it gives you structure. If, like I said, if you apply it right, man, and when you get out, I don't think you could go wrong, man.
Facts. So it's kind of like establishing a disciplined regimen.
Yeah.
And you kind of need that, you know what I'm saying? So you eliminate them negative distractions.
Exactly. So
right.
the same thing that applies out here, man. Just a little more rigorous in there. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, myself, I learned discipline with my fasting, health, and writing, education, just discipline. Learn to restrain yourself from certain things.
No doubt, and we can see by testament of everything you out here doing that discipline and that regimen is paying off. In regards to your transition back home, what has been some of your greatest challenges and obstacles that have kind of like complicated or conflicted your attempt at successful reentry?
Man, first of all, getting a job was one of the hardest things to do.
Indeed.
So,
what did that look like?
So, going through the unemployment agencies, the check the box, just trying to anything that you feel will propel you to a better life. Outside of you don't want a daggone, I don't want to say that, but a high school job. You know what I'm saying? Getting out of.
You want a livable wage.
You want a livable wage, and a livable wage job for an adult isn't $7.35
at all.
So
for anybody,
those are the type of jobs that. Shit, I still had to fight to get some of them, but I fell back on my barbering thing. You know what I'm saying?
I want to get into that with you because obviously everybody can tell that we in this immaculate looking barbershop. We're going to go ahead and give them the plug. Where we at?
We at Blensorial Barbershop in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right on. Y'all make sure y'all come get y'all
Come
fade
check
or
it
something.
out. Come check it out.
Ladies, y'all can come too, correct?
Indeed.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah. So to follow up on that question, another obstacle was once I did gain employment, falling back on the barbering thing. So I got my employment. Now I got to find somewhere to stay. And the thing about that, the property managers, they'll take your application and your application fee.
Yeah, exactly.
But they quickly reject it. Nah, you're a felon. You're a felon. You can't stay here. You're a felon. You're a felon. So you basically reduced to find a private owner that'll rent you. And sometimes,
it's not gonna be in the most desirable areas typically.
Yeah, so
which in itself is an obstacle, right? Because we all know that in regards to surviving recidivism, we are already having to navigate these temptations and impulses attached to our previous identity or situation.
Right.
And when you get in here and these less desirable situations, housing situations, you're often surrounded by those same impulses and energies and things of that nature, and you trying to keep your head on a swivel. Indeed. But you got a lot going on outside.
Sometimes, man, some dudes not strong enough or disciplined enough to, look out the window and not get engaged and not indulge with what's going on out there, man. Because
it's out there too.
It's enticing and that's what you know.
That's a fact.
So, yeah, you got.
So how did you what was your strategy in regards to securing stable housing?
Man, so look, for the most part, man, I stayed with my mom for 5 months. Then I jumped on the train, moved to Charlotte. I stayed with one of my partners and his old ladies until I could get on my feet.
How'd you feel during that time?
It's transition time, so it's back to you just gotta switch your mentality to go mode, man, grind mode. Like I just gotta get it. I gotta get it by any means. But I don't want to go back, so I just gotta keep pushing forward in that positive direction. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you something. Because this may not be specific to you, but some guys that I've talked to, in terms of their psychology, and their comfort level when they transition. Some guys, like for instance, you said you went to stay, with your partner, and that's obviously is great to have a positive support system in place. Indeed. I think it's imperative for you to be able to be successful. But at the same time, transitioning from the comfortability, not comfortability, but transitioning from, being by yourself and being in your own space versus transitioning into being in a space that's, technically belongs to somebody else, not trying to, overextend your welcome, not trying to do anything where it can be perceived as you exploiting the situation. And not to say that that's relevant to your situation, but just take me through your psyche in regards to how you felt while you were having, because of the fact that you couldn't secure traditional housing. How did you feel while you were in that space? Like, what was your timeline? Like, were you like every day reminding yourself, like, bro, I gotta expedite this because I got to find my own space, and I don't want to, overextend my welcome.
Exactly. So the thing about that, like, I never made myself comfortable. Like, I slept on the couch, all my bags and every possession was in that front room.
You never unpacked.
No, I never unpacked, man.
So you digging out the bag daily to change
every day I'm digging out the bag. And,
right on. Right on.
So yeah, man, I never made myself comfortable. And doing so, I just knew, like, bro, like, I gotta get out of here. I was very appreciative of them allowing me to stay there. But they had kids too. So the kids want the front room because they want to look at TV.
Facts.
So they making me uncomfortable too.
I already know.
So, I stayed there for maybe a month or so. You know what I'm saying? I got my own. I rented from my uncle. I was privileged enough to rent from my uncle.
Man, that's the power of networking, though, right?
So I rented from him for a while. Then my wife, then my fiance moved up here.
Okay.
And
so you married now?
Yeah, I'm married now.
How long you been married, brother?
October. I'm 8 years. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he's seasoned.
I'm seasoned.
You done for past the 7-year itch and all that. Yeah.
Yes.
And hey, having a wife is a beautiful thing,
Hey,
brother.
bro, like,
that's
honest,
the cornerstone.
Indeed, and that's one of my things, bro. I would say 2 of the best decisions I made since I've been home was moving to Charlotte and getting married, man. Like, that's...
Elaborate a little bit, man. These brothers need to hear that.
So, man, it's easy to run out here and try to catch up on everything you miss, especially after being gone for 13 years.
Thanks.
You know, you want that physical desire, you know what I'm saying? You want to, feed the physical.
Indeed.
But sometimes, bro, you got to think with that mind, bro. Like, that's what helped me. Like, I said, bro, like, I done been 13 years with nothing.
Word.
Nothing. I'm complete from nothing, no sex at all.
Yeah.
I said, look, I can live the rest of my life with one. I'm good with that, because this is my, you know what I'm saying? She became my best friend. So, I mean, like,
and that grass ain't green on
it
the
ain't
other
green.
side,
Nah, it ain't green.
Especially, never mind. I ain't even gonna go in on that.
And she rocked with me through my bed, you know what I'm saying? So,
and that's what we call, on my side, in terms of the philosophy that we try to abide by. That's what we call finding out why. You know what I'm saying? Because in my personal experience and other guys that's close to me, when we conversate and build, the very first step to surviving recidivism is finding the proper motivation to sustain your momentum. Because you're going to have to make your will more powerful than your won't, and you're going to have to do a lot of things that are going to make you uncomfortable. And you're going to have to get uncomfortable being uncomfortable. But the best way to do that is finding something that you prioritize and care about more than you do the other impulses, distractions, and energies that can take you off course. And finding your why, something that you prioritize more than anything else, even outside of your own desires, is what can sustain you in your endeavor.
Indeed, man. And everybody always talking about loyalty, but I'm real big on that. So I said, look, how do you repay loyalty? It's only one way, with loyalty. So she was loyal to me during my situation, bro. Like, I got to be loyal to her on this side.
True indeed.
So that's the only way I can repay it.
That's a rarity. You don't find that.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Especially when you down. You know how that go. Most people don't even make it through the county.
Right.
You know what I mean? More or less 13 years. Yo, and so salute to her, for real.
That's my boo.
So you said one of the things that you did when you got out was got your barbering license. So what did that process look like, and what made you gravitate to being a barber?
So prior to me being incarcerated, I went to barber school. I had my apprentice license. I took a quick turn to the street. Well, I took a quick turn, man, got incarcerated. Made bad decisions. That's part of life. So while I was incarcerated, I did cut a little bit. I cut at
I read that in the book.
Yeah, I cut at Polk. I cut at Pescatine. I cut at Albemarle, and I cut at Orange. So I kept my skills honed a little bit as much as I could. But on my way out, I said I really didn't want to do it. I wanted to kind of work, but I wanted to build somebody else's empire for them. Little did I know. So my mind switched, man, and I said, look, you got the skills in your hands. So go get it with your hands. So I got back in the barber shop. My cousin allowed me the opportunity to cut at his shop in Raleigh, which just so happened the name of the shop was I can't even think of it right now. And it's I can't even think of the name of it. But anyway, I jumped back in the barber shop. Well, I had to go recertify, test again, and I had to have letters of confirmation that I wouldn't being a threat to the community.
Yeah.
So I had to get some people to write me letters of recommendation. And once I got the letters of recommendation, I had to submit them to the board. They read them and contact the people, make sure they actually wrote the letters.
So it was a very rigorous process.
Yeah, man, it was very rigorous, but it was worth it. It was worth it. So once I got situated with that, man, and got my license back, it was just another grind, and I made it. It was my business. It's mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I own my hands. I own my clippers.
Young black entrepreneur.
Young black entrepreneur. The only boss I got is the person, my client in the chip.
And your wife.
Yeah, and my wife. Yeah, but it's a beautiful thing though. It's been it has its ups and downs, man. But as you see, we in my establishment.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So
Indeed.
hard work. It
pays off. Yeah,
Indeed.
and it's possible.
And it's
You know, OG once told me, man, they said, if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it.
Indeed.
And I think this is living proof. So, I see you wrote a book.
Yeah, man.
Man, tell us a little bit about 13 years of college, right?
Of course.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the book and exactly what it is that you want people to take away from it.
Hey, so this book here, man, came about, man, because I've been a writer since maybe 8 years old, man. My mom introduced me to writing poetry, and it kind of stuck with me. But during my bid, like, I found some downtime, man. After I'm reading, I'm like, dang, there's something else I could do. So I just started keeping a journal. I journal like my days, not every day, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I might go months without journaling, but when I do, I summarize everything. You know what I'm saying? I summarize everything. So in doing so, I kept the journal from 2002 to 2012. One day I came home, I was just writing. I was like, you know what, man, I might want to write a book. And I was trying to find a topic. I said, what can I write about? And then I went home to my mom's house and I was thumbing through some stuff. She said, baby, you know I got your journal right here. I said, that's my book right there. I wrote my book while I was down. But what it does, it tells of the formal and informal education I received from the day from the morning I wake up in the county jail, until the day I walk out of prison 13 years later. I learned about the prison culture, you know, just
the law,
the law of the land. You know what I'm saying? The do's, the don'ts. You know, the slang, and you know, I had to be there, so I had to learn it.
Was that your first bid?
That was my very first bid.
County and state?
No, I did some county time, but
okay.
you know, county and state.
Nah, that's different. Yeah, yeah. You in there with everybody you know in the county, so your reputation precedes you.
Exactly.
But when you hit state, you gotta reestablish yourself.
You gotta replant the ground, boy.
Indeed.
It's different.
It's definitely different.
So yeah, I talk about the informal education, like I said, that being the culture, the prison culture, and the formal education I got. So I got my bachelor's degree in business management. I got social science, little certificates, and carpentry, brick masonry, electrical wiring, and computer science diplomas. So I tried to make the best of my time. You know what I'm saying? That was once I came around.
It probably took a little while.
It took a little while, man, but you know,
you got to get acclimated first.
Right.
Yeah.
You got. So it's like this, man. Once you did enough to keep
the wolves at bay.
Yeah, keep the wolves at bay. Like, yo,
let that man be. Let him do his
He don't want
job.
no problem,
Yeah,
man, and
exactly.
you really don't want no problem with him either. So
Typically,
just let him go.
You got to make a couple examples,
Right.
and let him know. You know what I mean?
So
unfortunately, but that's just the law.
That's
of
the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once
So young people, just know and understand when you hear that, you have a choice right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to expose yourself to having to make them type of decisions. Because everybody don't make it out on the positive side. Some people lose their life in that acclimation process. So just something to think about.
Seen quite a few that actually lost their life along the way, man.
Really? What? Tell us about maybe just one specific incident.
So, man, I was on the youth spread with.
You was at Polk?
At Polk, yeah. It
Polk.
was cool.
Hey, people don't understand Polk something different, man.
Hey, man, look, that's the Terror Dome.
Terror
bro.
Dome, yeah.
Gladiator school.
Exactly. I had to take a blade to a couple there, but yeah. Anyway, but go ahead.
Yeah, man. So, it was cool. It wasn't like cool, but we was what up, doing passing. He was trying to find his way. And he found his way to a game, you know what I'm saying? But got where when he got to the adult spread, man, it was over for him. He got caught up in a gang fight and didn't make it. So that was the decision he made because hey. That's part of it.
Stabbed him or something?
He got stabbed, man. He got stabbed to death. Dudes ran up in his room and the whole block, sometimes the whole block fighting.
Yeah, fact.
And they ran up in his room and caught him, man. I don't know what had happened, but it was some gang stuff he got caught up in, man. I never knock whatever you do, whatever nobody do, you know what I'm saying? So just be you. Exactly. Be as real as you can be. But my thing was like, I never grew up in the gang environment. Everything I grew up in was, it was neighborhood or whatever.
Little crews.
But no gang. I wasn't familiar with that, so I wasn't cool with joining something I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, indeed. Everybody got their own reasons for doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Some people join gangs for, to fulfill that void, left behind by their fathers or whatever they missing. Some just want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And to be all the way honest, a lot of people joining for protection. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And it's understandable depending on your situation and your connection.
And like indeed, bro, like I understand some reasons, like they valid. Like so be it, but
to each his own.
To each his own, man.
Right on. So let me ask you, if I propose to you the concept of remaining resilient,
mm-hmm.
how would you define that? What comes to your mind?
Man, so just continue to keep pushing. Like, I'm gonna speak for myself, I could speak for a lot of guys that's been released, man. It's a lot of doors being slammed in our face, doors closed, barriers put up, obstacles put up. Like, you just gotta continue to push around it, bro. Like, and you can't do everything with brute force. You gotta think your way through a lot of things, man.
Strategic.
Life is a chess game, bro. Like, sometimes the pawns, if utilized right, shit, they more power than your rook or your knight.
Right on.
The thing is, man, you just gotta keep pushing. Don't let nothing stop you because, like I tell
tunnel vision,
bro. Like I tell my son this every morning, where I get him to tell himself this: I can do anything I put my mind to. He look himself in the mirror. He 4 years old. He look himself in the mirror every morning and say, "I could do anything I put my mind to." And I want him to believe. No, I want him to know that, and I want everybody else to know that. Like coming home, man, it just release a different monster. And when I say monster, I mean you have to morph into something else. that you've never been, because you have obstacles in front of you that you've never faced, and you just gotta continue to push through it, man.
Yeah, I like to tell, some of the young brothers I work with, and even some guys that I know that's been out for a while that's still, trying not to go back, that you have to be intense and intentional.
Intense and intentional.
You know what I
Indeed.
mean?
Indeed, I like that.
Word up. With that being said, and kind of piggybacking off of that, man, if you could you just share maybe some words of wisdom, with the youth that might be still immersed, in the streets or standing at a crossroad, or even the ex-offenders returning home who's still striving to stay free. If you could just drop a few words of wisdom, man, on the outro, if you don't mind.
Man, hey, look, this is so cliche, and I hate to be cliche, but I think it's necessary in some aspects, yo. Like, you just don't see eagles rocking with pigeons. You don't see eagles rocking with doves. You know what I'm saying? You don't see the hawks just rock with any other kind of bird. You kind of know what you're dealing with by who you surround yourself with.
Facts.
So there's no way I'm constantly be dealing with somebody on the block or doing something outside of what I'm trying to do if I'm trying to walk the straight and narrow. Like, bro, like, if you are still participating in street activities, so be it. Shit, get out of it. You know what I'm saying? You might have to. It's a gradual process, but surround yourself with different people. Surround yourself with different people going in the positive direction that you're trying to go in, man. And it's possible. I know it's possible, bro. Like, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I came home, man, I went home, man, and I seen some dudes doing the same exact thing they was doing when I left the street. That's why I said I gotta get out of Wilson. Like, I didn't know where I was going. But I knew I had to get out of there. So in getting out of there, I said, shit, I gotta be by myself for a minute. I gotta make myself uncomfortable and be comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, and sometimes you just gotta change the environment. As Les Brown say, man, look, you gotta be the thermostat instead of the thermometer. So, man, like, you gotta change the temperature, not read the temperature. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. So, yo, Udi, man, it's been a pleasure, man. If you can, brother, please direct everybody who might be watching or listening to where they can find 13 years of college. Give them your social media handles and all that. Y'all make sure y'all keep up with my brother, man. He got big things coming. The book is just the beginning. It's a lot more progressive things to come. So make sure that y'all stay tapped in.
Indeed. You can catch me at 13 Years of College on Instagram. You can catch me at Ron Bullock on Facebook. And for my barbershop, you can catch me at Blensorial on Instagram, and that's BLENDSORIAL, Blensorial. It's on Instagram, man. But yeah, please check in, man. And if you have any questions, you could DM me, man. I love to kick it with you, bro. Like, I rock with Brother Jamoke, man, because he on that straight and narrow. And this the type of people you gotta surround yourself with, as long as you you trying to stay on that straight and narrow and stay out.
Yeah, survive recidivism, I like to call it.
Survive recidivism.
Yeah, and y'all make sure any educators, any any youth service providers or halfway houses, anything of that nature, you make sure that you tap in and reach out to Udi so you can bring him in for speaking engagements and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And you can discuss the logistics and the details with him. But he has a powerful story that needs to be leveraged and utilized for purposes of deterring these youth away from making the same mistakes that brothers like ourselves have already made. And that's kind of the premise over here about what we do. We trying to pay this insight forward. So with that being said, this is another Remain Resilient Publishing production. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, Remain Resilient Publishing at Too Far to Fail, or you can also check in with us on the website, writingreform.com. Peace, power, and progress.